Hola, buenas tardes. So, I wanted to talk today about multilingual human agency and the epistemic construction of the 21st century. In fact, I think I want to include epistemic construction, but also the cognition as well, because I think it has to do with both. So, first, what is multilingual human agency? I've been talking about this for a while. So, our capacity as humans to speak different languages and everything we can do with that. So, that's why we talk about agency. So, agency in the case of communication, it might be related simply to speaking, listening, but also writing and reading, but also work tasks such as translation and teaching languages and of course in the cognitive part, which has to do with learning new languages. It has to do with all of that, but from a human perspective, because nowadays we have to differentiate the cognition of machines and the cognition of humans. So, in the case of humans, we talk about human agency to say that we act in certain ways, in certain spaces, and interacting with other, let's say, agents, in which we then have an interaction that has a meaning, and then all of that encompasses the human agency specifically in terms of language. Anyway, that's multilingual human agency and why it matters. Well, it matters specifically for the topic of the construction, the epistemic construction of the 21st century, because it has to do with everything we are doing to communicate and exchange information and exchange words and language fueled data. So this is important because this is how we are, well, as we have always have done as humans, right? We have always shared information this way, and it matters nowadays because we are dealing with new technologies that are capable of agency. Well, at least that's debatable, right? But let's say that we are dealing with technologies that are capable of understanding, reasoning, and capable of many things related to the construction of knowledge and of language. So it is important to differentiate the human from the machine, and of course to understand the agency within. So in this sense, we have to take into account the different agents that exist in the cognitive arena. So the agents in the cognitive arena might be organic or artificial, of course. And when I talk about organic agents, I talk about humans, of course, mainly, at least for now. And of course, we deal with animals and plants. There have been studies and advances in artificial intelligence that are capable of decoding the way animals and plants transmit information. And I believe that this new type of data will participate in the cognitive arena in some sense, because we will get to extract certain informations that are relevant to the epistemic construction and the advancement of science and the knowledge in general. So when I say artificial, of course, I'm talking about AI, I'm talking about machines, and the way they are capable nowadays of contributing to the epistemic construction. And it is no secret that for many people, for many researchers, these are very powerful tools that are helping with a lot of the advancements that are done in the research area, of course. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the hyperconnectivity and LLM proliferation in different devices and machines. So we're living in a landscape in which probably in a couple of years we will have LLMs integrated in every device, even without connectivity. So we're talking about having AI assistants that are capable of dealing with any type of information and that are faster and faster and even more powerful every day. And when I talk about hyperconnectivity, I'm simply talking about the access to internet and information that we have pretty much everywhere. And in many areas where we didn't have a internet connection, well, it has been changing, and it has been given access to more people. And I think that it will be crucial to understand that shift, because the access to information and the internet will allow for the creation of more discoveries and more experiments, and it will change the epistemic landscape, of course, because there's also the notion that the cultural notion and the scientific approaches that might be different according to the certain regions and so on. And in this sense, of course, finally I have to end up talking about the importance of global dialogue mediation for multilingual mental models, which means that in this sense there will be, well, there is already a cognitive revolution in place. There are many discoveries around the world, many advances, and usually they are, of course, discussed through the lingua franca, which is English, and the mental model, the European mental models. And this is a huge deal for the 21st century, because we're talking about how things are evolving and how things are changing. And I think that it is time for us to start building a new type of approach to the global discourse, the global dialogue. Now, how can this be done, and why? Especially why? Because, well, it's practical, right, to have a lingua franca. But the thing is that if we are exploring knowledge, if we are taking into account the mental models in which that experience and that knowledge is built, then we can have a meta discourse that can be included in the right, that can be included in the research, that can be included in the analysis, and that can be included in the observations that are developed and deployed in the different types of research that are done. We are also dealing with the topic of hybrid dialogues, which I quickly talked about it in some previous videos. But the notion of hybrid dialogue is very important, because the hybrid dialogue, well, it's simply humans and machines interacting, is something that we should take into account, because these LLMs, at least currently, are built with, of course, with the information of the previous entries and of all the history. But the thing is that we need to check if we are not talking, or we are not interacting with fossilized ways of exchange, which means ways of understanding the world that pertain to the previous era. It's something that I also want to point out, because I think that we are heading towards a future that is very uncertain and that is accelerating, and it will be very different. So I think that it is very important to have this this notion into account. And why is that? Also because we have to take into account the different linguistic models in order to have a wider and a more interesting, even landscape, a cognitive landscape, in which the ideas and the information will be shared. Much can be said about human translation and its role, which is essential, and of course it's something that I always defend. But if AIs can help provide more multilingual information, and they can facilitate the passage between a language and the other, we also have to reinforce the notion of the mental models in which we are playing. So this is very important. This is very important for the future of the diversity and the plurality of the mental models in which the new ideas are merging, and in which and through which the cross pollination of the 21st century ideas will take place. So this is very, very important. So the global dialogue mediation is something that we need to find out how we will do this, because we might think that it is a matter of, well, some people perhaps might think that AIs will find a solution to that, and that or that we will continue with English and other European languages. But the thing is that we are connected to Westernese are already connected, and this is very, very important. I mean, it is very important to understand what it means for research, what it means even for literature. We need to understand that we are connected to the entire world, and this connection to the entire world is what will define the way in which we will move forward. And that is why multilingual human agency is, I think, one of the keys to understand, and one of the keys to move forward in the right way. So yes, that's all. I think that's all I wanted to say. It's a very lengthy, so it's a huge topic, I think, and it should be subdivided in different videos. But I just want to make this quick comment, and yeah, I probably will be talking about this more. And yes, so I guess I'll stop it here, and yeah, see you later. Bye.